find out Magic the Gathering or artwork of this sort, and this gentleman's helping me find all the crazy awesome stuff, but there's quite a selection. Let me see. Great store though. Let's see what we find. Oh, we got Magic right here. Really comic books, so great. This character. No. Either way, I could live in this place. No one knows. This is my home. I was actually heading to the comic book store to kind of reference the styles. The company that was asking me to draw this and the project I was going for, they kind of wanted this Magic the Gathering look, but they want to combine Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones kind of content into that. So I was going to build my world off of that, which I did. We were replicating a game called Ghost Stop, which is a very simplified art style. So I had to meet both ways, you know, in the middle, and we landed on this. The idea was taken from a stone. If you were to shine a light on a stone, it would kind of give a shimmer of texture as well as kind of be blotted out. So you have this outline of every single card that I have. So like this card here has a blue outline around it. And the blue is supposed to be mimicking like a gold shimmer because originally it was gold. So I just changed out the colors. This one's greenish blue. But yeah, so you can see the texture here. The texture is nice. They all have it. As for the symbols and the logos on the side, I'll be editing those. They're gonna change. I don't know if Roman numerals will work for this card game since people don't use them very often. It kind of complicates because the 9 could look a lot like the 11. I'm just gonna walk you through how I kind of drew this. There's an outline to every one, and then there's the inside coloring to the objects. The objects each have about 3 different shades of color to them, sometimes 4. Like the hair here definitely has like 6, but that's hair. I was just having fun with different colors. I was just going down the shades, but most of them are usually about 3, or some of these are 2. So yeah, now it's on to the designing this thing, and I'm looking at Ghost Stop here and seeing all the 4 different cards and looking at the items and seeing what I can put into my drawing, my 4 cards. And this is supposed to be one long landscape, or one image to make a suit, but I eventually trashed that idea and go with something else. This is the concept art for the first draft to kind of show the company that was what I want to do for each card, but it kind of took too long. It was a little bit more difficult than I preferred, and then have to do this within 30 days for, you know, 10 to 12 more suits would be a little bit difficult. But yeah, in the end, after drawing all of this, and I really enjoyed the look, but it wasn't gonna happen. So it's time to start over and, you know, go with an easier look. So back to the drawing board, which is kind of tough because like I had to rethink it all over again, and my time, you know, days have passed already, and I only have a limited amount of time left to build a concept. And so now I started doing all the different giants, 1 giant for each card. But then I ended up scrapping that as well, and then just deciding to do 4 different cards, but of the same theme and color. That's where we come here. So we got the blue giants, and I'm working on the blue giant right now. And you can see, like, here's a fallen giant. As you can see, I tried to do Magic the Gathering, maybe a concept art style. It didn't work out so well. It took like a week to do that, way too long. And I had to pump this out within a month, all these cards. So I had to simplify the style, and I landed on this style, which was like a merging between Art Nouveau and animated cartoon style that I like. Now it's on to the sketching. The sketching part is the fun part because we can just do whatever we want, you know. As you can see behind it, there is a transparent or very light rough draft of the character, of his position, and then I go in and just add all these details on top on another layer. I'm using the technical pen, I believe, to just sketch. It doesn't really matter. I usually use the script brush, calligraphy brushes, because the weight of it gets thicker and thinner. But because this here, the technical pen is just really good to kind of get those thin straight lines and small details. That's what I did. And I'm blocking out some color and some lighting and shadow very lightly. Can't really tell. It's just going to be coming from the top. And then I'm adding in the backgrounds here very roughly as well, because the water and the background is actually going to be more textured than it is details. The character's going to pop, so more detail on him and more importance on what he's doing and looking like than the background.
I didn't want him standing there. I wanted him to go through the swamp and kind of look for his weapon, kind of give the same theme as his other cards, which are all swamp based. But yeah, after you get done drawing that, I like to merge all those different layers of the sketching, and then take that layer and make it a low opacity. That way I can draw on top of it. So I add a new layer, and then I go to the round brush, and then I actually use around 5 to 7% of the often the thickness that I use. And the dwarf had thicker lines, but she wasn't as detailed, I think, as he is with scales and stuff. So I use a thinner line. And then this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go through here and add all this outline to him. First with this thickness, and then after that we'll come in and thin the lines out and do more details and thicken them for certain areas. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm just outlining everything, and the lines aren't as smooth as I would like them to be. So actually I go into the brush and change the streamline and stabilization to get the correct smoothness that I need for this drawing. That'll be helpful for you guys. And when I make mistakes where, like this right here, I made too thick and too thin and over and all that stuff, I'll just go in there and erase and then re-outline it. Okay, once you're done with the outlining, now it's time for coloring. And we have the dwarf here, and we're going to do is choose a layer underneath the outline and choose a color palette that you prefer for whatever image you have. I'm choosing one that has more metallic colors, that's lighter silvers and golds. Once you choose that, you're going to start coloring. I choose light colors and go to dark because I have a light source which is coming actually from the left, from this axe that she's holding. So I'm just going to start coloring the light so I can know where the light source is going to be at all times right away. In a lot of my drawings, I start out actually with the darkness and pen and ink. I'll do all the blacks and block out all the dark and leave the light for interpretation later. But this is digital, and yeah, I just work backwards. Do however you feel. So I'm going in here and just filling in a little bit more darker colors where I think there'll be a shimmer or a color change, and shadow, of course. And just I keep on doing that. Now I could have went in here and made this metal look really realistic and have real nice reflections and everything, but like I said, I like the animated look. I want this cartoon feel. The cards are meant to be complicated, but also simple enough for people to understand what the image actually is when they pick it up. So I think this works out really well. Yeah, and then just do some touch-ups, and before you know it, you have one awesome image. So I like the way she turned out. If you see here on her breastplate here, there's the different shades of gray. That's just using the masking pen and then throwing a little bit of shade of around that object. Now here, I like this technique where I just kind of color around the object and then fill it in. More detailed places, I'll use the masking pen. But for this works out quite well. Sometimes it leaves a little white ring around the connecting part of what you're filling in, which you need to be careful of because it's very thin and it'll ruin your drawing. But now, here we are with a leather on her belt, and we're coloring that in as well, getting from darks to light. But yeah, guys, this is roughly it. That's as simple as that. And as for the picture, as you can see here that I'm using thinner lines, a smaller line for sure compared to the handle, which has a thicker line, but that's how I get my details.
Okay, so that's kind of the gist of it, right? Like that's how you do it, from shading to drawing into the outlines and coloring in the background and kind of giving the vibe that we're going for. If you have any, like, you want to try this style out and send it to me, please send it to me. I'll definitely love to look at it and high five you virtually for that. If this video is helpful and you like this video and you find it interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe, and keep up to date with all the stuff that I'm coming out with. I have a lot more projects and videos that I'm coming out with more frequently. And thank you for your support, and see you guys next time. I need to learn how to exit. See you guys later. Peace. And until next time. So until next time, guys, ladies, gents, Bye. That's not gonna work. I don't know how to end it. Okay, I'm just. Oh, no.